Welcome back to Basic Economics with Holly Jean. This is a place where we break down big economic concepts and make them accessible and understandable for everyone, regardless of your background. I'm here to prove to you that economics doesn't have to be this notoriously boring, dry, stuffy subject that it's often thought to be because, well, none of those words describe me. Today, we're going to be talking about the difference between what headlines and job seekers are saying about the state of the US job market. We're going to be putting together the pieces of the puzzle to understand how to look at the US job market today. So let's dive in. Recently, there has been a huge disconnect between how the media is portraying the job market and how actual job seekers are describing their personal experiences. On the media side, we often hear optimistic statements like, our unemployment rate has been historically low this year, and the labor market is strong, healthy, and robust.
The labor market right now is strong. It's a healthy labor market. Jobs are available. Businesses are feeling good.
Under Joe Biden, we just had the best year of American job creation in the 21st century. The last time we had a streak this long of unemployment below 4%, it was the early 1960s.
On the job seeker side, however, we're hearing things like, the media is lying to you. There's no way that the labor market is strong. It is so hard to find a full-time job right now.
The media has been completely lying to you about the job market. The job market in 2024 is absolutely brutal. I've been in the recruitment space for coming up to a decade, and I've never seen candidates struggle as much as they are right now.
It's not you, it's the job market. If you are currently employed and looking for something better, stop, because there won't be. Hiring in the US has fallen to its lowest point since they started keeping measurements in 2005. And we're getting all this rhetoric from the government that the economy is improving. Where?
Job seekers are expressing that these media narratives often feel so disconnected from reality, and it's leaving many Americans to feel misled or even gaslighted. So who is right here, and why is there such a huge disconnect between what the media is reporting and what people are actually experiencing? In this video, I'm going to equip you with key economic evidence to test and critically evaluate these optimistic job market claims. And together, we're going to uncover the labor market's true state. So here are the 3 things you should keep in mind in order to accurately assess the state of the US labor market. The first thing you should keep in mind is how to look at the unemployment rate. Now, while media headlines have often celebrated historically low unemployment rates this year, it's important for you to know that the unemployment rate is an important economic indicator, but it should not be the sole economic indicator that you rely on. Here's why. The unemployment rate, or U3, shows us the percentage of the workforce that is actively seeking work within the last 4 weeks. But what happens if you've been actively seeking work in the last 5 weeks now, 6 weeks, 3 months, 6 months? The unemployment rate fails to capture a fuller picture of the state of unemployment. That's why economists look at something called the underemployment rate, or U6. Now, the U6 rate is going to show you discouraged workers. Right now, there are over 370,000 people who have stopped job hunting because they believe that there are no jobs out there for them. It also shows you those who are marginally attached to the labor force. Now, all this means is that it's going to show you 5.7 million individuals seeking work beyond the last 4 weeks, or who are unable to accept jobs. The third thing it will show you are those who are part-time for economic reasons. Currently, there are 4.6 million people working part-time, not because they want to, but because their hours are being cut or they cannot find the full-time jobs that they are looking for. So whenever you see media headlines reporting that the unemployment rate is at historic lows, remember all the things here that it is not accounting for. At the end of the day, what you need to understand is that there is no single unemployment indicator that is inherently better. Each were created to reveal a certain piece of the puzzle. But to truly understand the state of an entire job market, we need to piece together insights from multiple indicators. In short, no single economic indicator tells you the whole story. Think of each one as revealing part of the bigger picture. Now, the second thing you should keep an eye on is the quality of jobs, specifically part-time versus full-time work. Now, when we look at the state of full-time employment today, we find that full-time employment remains below pre-pandemic trends. Full-time job growth stagnated over the past 2 years despite a growing population. At the same time, what we're seeing is that not only has part-time work increased, but the number of individuals holding 2 part-time jobs has risen steadily. As of October 2024, this figure has reached over 2 million people, marking a significant rise compared to pre-pandemic levels. We also need to look at the 4.6 million Americans who are employed part-time for economic reasons, like mentioned before. Again, these are people working part-time not by choice, but due to reduced hours or an inability to secure full-time employment. The reality here is that there is growing reliance on part-time work, and at the same time, a stagnation in full-time employment. All of this together exposes fundamental weaknesses in the labor market that contradict optimistic narratives. At the end of the day, part-time jobs often come with lower pay, fewer benefits, and inconsistent hours, leaving workers increasingly vulnerable to financial insecurity. The third thing you should be mindful of is the recent revision of job growth by the BLS. So in case you missed it, the BLS revealed that there are over 818,000 jobs that were actually never there to begin with from March of 2023 to March of 2024. And the overwhelming majority of these jobs that went missing were in the private sector. Now, it's important to take note that if you are trying to measure the number of jobs in an entire economy, revisions are going to be a standard component of macroeconomic measurements. But let me paint the picture for you here on just how extraordinary this job revision was. This revision deviated by 5 times the typical margin of error, meaning that the revision wasn't just off, it was off by a huge amount. Errors of this size are far outside what's considered acceptable, making it clear that the original numbers weren't just slightly inaccurate, they were fundamentally flawed. Now, this is a major concern for us because these figures play a huge role in shaping media narratives, in guiding the Fed's decisions, and also influencing public perception of the US economy. When we start putting all the pieces of the puzzle together, we see that the recent reports about low unemployment and steady job growth have been overly optimistic and at times misleading. The reality is that if Americans are having a hard time finding full-time jobs and having to work multiple part-time jobs just to get by, let alone the over 800,000 jobs that suddenly went missing, these aren't signs of a healthy economy. When employers' top concerns include things like inflation, economic uncertainty, increased costs on their businesses, a decline in full-time employment and job quality becomes an expected market response. Now, to address these challenges, the government should make it less costly for suppliers by reducing any unnecessary regulations and avoiding inflationary measures that have increased costs on businesses. Lowering costs on businesses and encouraging entrepreneurship are going to be key to creating more jobs, controlling inflation, and offering better opportunities for stable, well-paying jobs. So people are right to sense this disconnect between media headlines and the reality of the job market. And this makes it essential for us to think critically and take a closer look ourselves at what's really happening. By relying on economic evidence, we can help job seekers evaluate these claims and gather a more accurate picture of the labor market. Now, if you like this video, be sure to check out my article with the American Institute of Economic Research. There you're going to find the full details and data of the current state of the US job market linked in the description. So be sure to give this video a thumbs up so we can create more videos like this. And please let us know what types of videos you would like us to create next. Thanks for joining Basic Economics with Holly Jean. I'll see you here next time.